Happy Friday and welcome to this week's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young and I've been saying how much I'm looking forward to it for months now, but the Olympics are officially here. Today at 10:30 a.m., the opening ceremonies will begin in Paris, France. This summer's opening ceremonies are historic because it's the first time ever they will take place outside of a stadium. This time, approximately 10,500 athletes will float down a 4-mile stretch of the Seine River on 104 boats, all ending up outside the Eiffel Tower. Even though the official opening is today, some events are already underway. Both our men's and women's soccer teams have officially begun group play, with the men facing host country France on Wednesday. The men's team then goes on to face New Zealand tomorrow, and then Guinea next Tuesday. The women's national team took on Zambia yesterday, then will face Germany on Sunday and Australia on the 31st. Rugby, archery, and handball all also began on Wednesday and Thursday. Other than the ceremonies, there's just one badminton match tonight, but the full slate of all the action officially begins tomorrow. Tomorrow, teams and athletes from the U.S. will compete in soccer, water polo, beach volleyball, hockey, and so much more. For me, the hardest part of the Olympics is choosing who and what events to watch. So, here are a few athletes to pay attention to throughout the Olympics. Both of our men's and women's basketball teams are expected to win medals, and it was announced earlier this week that LeBron James will be the flag bearer for the U.S. today during the ceremonies. In the realm of gymnastics, all eyes will be on Simone Biles, the most decorated gymnast in history and one of the greatest athletes in history. She's a 9-time national champion, a 6-time world champ, and a 7-time Olympic medalist, including 4 golds. She has several skills and vaults named after her, and is expected to return to dominance after a tumultuous Tokyo Olympics. On her team is gymnast Suni Lee, the reigning Olympic all-around champion. She is also the gold medal favorite on the uneven bars. Fred Richard will represent the men's gymnastics team, and Richard was spectacular at Olympic trials, winning the all-around and high bar and earning the only automatic berth onto the Paris team. His main goal will be to help the team earn its first Olympic medal in 16 years. Both of our men's and women's track teams are absolutely loaded with talent. Noah Lyles is a 6-time world champion sprinter who has a pretty solid shot at winning at least 3 medals at the Olympics. In addition to likely participating on the men's 4x1 relay team, he also qualified in the 100 and 200 meter sprints with a pair of wins at the US trials. For the women, Sydney McLaughlin is one of the greatest track athletes in history. In her 3rd Olympic Games, McLaughlin will look to defend her 400 meter hurdles medal while also competing in the 400 meter sprint. At the Olympic trials, she ran an insane 48.75 400 meters and set her 5th world record in the 400 meter hurdles with a time of 50.65. One sport that's still relatively new to the Olympics is surfing. This summer, the surfing events will be held at one of the biggest, scariest, and most beautiful surf breaks in the world at Chopu, Tahiti in French Polynesia. Among our Team USA roster this year are some of the greatest surfers ever, like Carissa Moore and John Florence, and more. And there's a newcomer this year who is from right here in Orange County. 25-year-old Griffin Colapinto finished 3rd overall in the World Surf League last season, qualifying him for the Olympics this summer. Colapinto is currently the top-ranked surfer in the world, and he was born and raised in San Clemente. He's looking to bring Team USA home with a gold in his Olympic surfing debut. There are a million other athletes I could highlight here, but it would take me all day. So, lastly, I have to talk about Katie Ledecky. Ledecky is a 10-time Olympic medalist and has won 7 gold medals. She's a captain for the U.S. swim team and is one of the best athletes in the sport's history. Paris will be her 4th Olympic appearance, and if she wins 2 more medals, she'll be the most decorated female American Olympian in history. If she gets 2 more gold medals, she'll have the record for the most gold medals by any woman in the sport. I have to point out too, Ledecky doesn't win these races by millimeters most of the time. To put it in perspective, her top event is the 1500 meter swim. She owns the top 19 times in history in that race. At the US Olympic swim trials in June, she beat the rest of the field by over 20 seconds. It's very common that she wins that race by the length of the pool, if not more. All of our Olympic athletes will be must-watch TV, so be sure to tune in to as many events as you can, no matter the sport, until the closing ceremony on August 11th. Our Olympic golf team is also pretty stacked with talent. Xander Schauffele, the only golfer on our roster with a medal to his name, is on an absolute hot streak in the PGA. 2 months after Schauffele captured his first major championship victory at the PGA Championship at Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, Kentucky, he added a second one this past Sunday at the 152nd Open Championship at Royal Troon Golf Club. 7 different golfers started the final round within just 1 stroke of first place. At the end of the day, Schauffele was the man hoisting the claret jug at the iconic course on Scotland's coast. He posted a 6 under 65 on Sunday, and his total of 9 under put him 2 strokes ahead of the rest, securing his win. Schauffele's win is also the 7th consecutive major won by an American golfer, the longest streak since they won 13 straight from 1974 to 1977. Since he won both the Open and PGA Championship this year, it's the first year since 1982 that U.S. golfers claimed all 4 majors after Scottie Scheffler won the Masters and Bryson DeChambeau captured the U.S. Open. The Olympics could not have come at a more perfect time since the rest of the sports world is always pretty slow this time of year. We still have had golf events, UFC fights, F1 races, MLB regular season, and different soccer cups, but still doesn't feel quite the same as when the MLB, NHL, NFL, and NBA are all in mid-season. But in wonderful news, the NFL offseason is officially over. Teams have all reported to training camp this week, and the preseason games will begin starting with the Hall of Fame game next Thursday, August 1st. This year's matchup will be between the Chicago Bears and Houston Texans. Every year, this game not only is the start of the preseason, but the game also kicks off Enshrinement Week in Canton, Ohio, where this year 7 players will be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This year, Dwight Freeney, Randy Gradishaw, Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, Steve McMichael, Julius Peppers, and Patrick Willis will be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 5 out of these 7 inductees were heroes of my childhood and some of my favorite players of all time. Pretty crazy to see them reaching the highest level of the sport. While football isn't an Olympic sport, at least until 2028 when we get flag football, it's still a staple of the US, so I had to mention it in the same conversation as the Olympics. But right here in the Village, our own mini Olympics are just around the corner. The 2024 Village Games will begin in October, but it's almost time to register. Registration for the month-long competition will open on Monday, August 5th. The games will feature competitions in swimming, volleyball, table tennis, pickleball, poker, tennis, golf, archery, bocce ball, and so much more. The games will begin on October 7th and run through October 31st. So, if you have any interest in competing in one or any of these events, make sure you sign up starting on Monday, August 5th, and start training and practicing now. As always, thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Sports Corner. I've said it a million times, but check out as many Olympic events as you can this week and for the next few weeks. On top of that, regular season baseball is still going strong, and teams are approaching the trade deadline, hoping to boost their rosters for the last time to make a playoff push. Come right back next week for more news, updates, and highlights from all across the sports world. In a few weeks, I'll give my annual NFL season preview and playoff predictions. That never goes as well as I hope it will, but still pretty entertaining. Anyway, I'm Cole Young. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.